Hello, everyone. This is Frogman, and welcome back to Manufactio. This is going to be episode number 15. I'm going to try a little bit of derpage today. I know I was talking about building sciences, but with the advent of having a few things clear out over in the main factory building over here, I decided I was going to do a little bit of fun. So I built some stuff. And not only did I build some stuff, I recorded some stuff and I made a time lapse. It's kind of funny, kind of hilarious, but I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. So I guess let's get on to it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I sure had fun making it. Had to do a bunch of cuts out of it because I ended up having to screw this side up a little bit. But what I've got going on is 15 of each of these plate presses, wire presses, and actually I'm probably going to go ahead and add the 16th in just so that this number is 1024 and this is 2048, just so it's an even thing. What we're going to do for the rest of the video is I got this built, and you know they're slow. They take about 2 seconds to do the work. Do I have a thing to shut you off with? I guess actually that should work, right? Yeah, okay. They take about 2 seconds to process a plate or a wire or a plate into a wire. So what I have to do and what I'm trying to do here is change the way things work. So I'm using a timer to turn on these extracting conveyor belts, and in the video I adjusted the time with a engineer's wire cutter to 20 because 20 is a second. If you do more than that, or I should say if you do like 16 or anything less than 20, then it'll dump out more than one every time this ticks. So I want to have this to where it runs a couple of seconds, it runs a couple of seconds and then it puts the next one out. I don't want more than one. And these guys are just under 2 seconds to process. So when you have that many, that's 64 items times 2 seconds is, it takes about 2 minutes, just a little over 2 minutes to process that many items. So that times that many stacks will go through this sucker in a hurry. The plate press system that I had down before was not doing anywhere near what I needed to make the power or make the wires work because of the new factory that we have over there. And this is what happens. I said I was going to be building some things up here. I'm going to be building some things up here. So the next step is what we need to do is I need to craft another one of these, and I need to hook these guys up to the redstone control. Now that's a reason why I said I was going to use this room for redstone. So I went ahead and moved all of the logic for the bin or the silos upstairs to down in this area. So literally all I have to do now is figure out what I want to do to get that down here. So I currently have this circuit up here running these presses, and these guys are going to get torn out and repurposed for probably the iron plate pressing system. So we need to move a few things. So I guess let's do this. And those guys will finish. I don't know what they could finish. There shouldn't be anything left up there to finish because I stole the presses out of them. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. All right, you guys are going, and I think I have a bunch of leftovers in here, which we'll have to filter into the system eventually. But now, those things, I changed the way I'm doing the control because I've been, again, lag busting and just playing around with time. A hopper is a lot more busy when it's sitting here trying to place something into a machine. I can't get my head over there. It's a lot more busy when you're trying to place something onto a machine than a extracting conveyor belt. So I put the coverage on just because that way it'll try to keep some of it from flying around. I may encase this in a wall or something. And the funny thing is the pollution pumps that are right here, you can just barely see the pipe, are collecting from here, so I don't even have to worry about building any stuff in here for right now. I like I said, I chose these because they're a lot less CPU intensive, and right now in this building, I don't even know, do I have one of them open? I don't think so. We'll have to look at that eventually, but these guys are a lot less, FPS and CPU intensive, so we're going to go with them. They're going to be pulling out of basic bins. I'm going to be running item conduits across the top of these guys to just, get a couple of things working. And I guess while you're at it, go ahead and work those. So we need to be able to read off of the side of this thing or off of the bottom of it with a redstone probe connector. And I kind of think for right now, I'm going to place it right here. And the color does not matter what I do on this line. So I'm just going to use orange. And then I'm going to go over to my redstone box, which should be that one, and grab a bunch of connectors and a bunch of wire. I'm going to continue to use the logic downstairs, even though I know I don't need to. I could do the logic right here, actually, if I want to. I just don't want redstone floating around up here. So I'm going to go ahead and I think we might even try to do this with the probe connectors doing the thing. So let's knock a hole in the floor right there so I can tell where this connector is. That's not going to work because there's a vent right there. Let's move him over one. Now I could drop it through the floor right there, but then there'd be a wire in the middle of the area. So let's see. Well, I'm gonna borrow that piece of wood. Give me this piece of wood right here since it fell to the floor. All right, so we'll put you down, probe connector down, and then I go downstairs after I hook you up to there, there, to there. Now, one thing that all of the IE connectors do is they allow you to, let me see, we're not in this area. We are, where is it? It should be right over this one, right? 15 to there. It should be right there. If you place a connector, any of the connectors on a block on both sides of it, and then hit it with a hammer, if I shift click this with a hammer, it will turn it into a through connector, which makes things look a little prettier. You don't end up with wire running, you know, through the floor and then have either holes or replace the blocks. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to do this again. I know it's using up a bunch of connectors. I don't really care at this point. So let's go ahead and knock a hole through there so we know where we're at. Ow, that should be where? Right there. Okay, and then I can do the same thing here. We can bring this down, and then I have to bring it back up to shut things off, which is fine, because what I can do is I can change. I'm going to break you guys because I'm going to use you in a second. I can change how I do all of the connectoring, basically. I can put a secondary channel coming through here. So instead of coming out purple, which it's coming out purple right now, where is my hammer? I need to hold shift and then change channels. So let's make you orange. Orange should be right there. Okay. Now it's going to emit a signal based on how full that thing is upstairs. And as you can see, we got just a little bit of power coming out. How much power do we have? Power of 1. So that means it can see what's going on. And you can make this distance any longer or any shorter. You can build it like this if you want to. These are plate presses. There's no point in doing all of this stuff because I don't need to be that perfect with it. I'm going to place another connector. If I can get up here. Where did that piece of redstone go? Come here, you. There you go. All right, I'm going to place another connector right here. And this connector is going to be the output. Now, I know it's kind of like, now I'm going to have to run it all the way back over there. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. This is one of those nobody's ever going to see it areas. I want to change the channel here to something other than orange. So we'll just say magenta. Magenta sounds fine with me. We'll bop this back down. And we'll do that. And I hope that should see through. Come on, connect. I cannot attach this wire here. Oh, well, then we'll just connect it right there. Now that should, because these are also relays, that should carry through. So now I should be able to bring a signal upstairs that is going to be magenta and output it into the control underneath the presses. And you can use anything you want to right here. You can use regular old redstone. I tried putting this on top of that, and it didn't. That's why I made a bunch of the covered ones, is because I figured I could put this, the red alloy wire on top of these, and they won't let anything go on top of them. I didn't want to cut a hole in the floor to control these. I basically want these to finish whatever they're working on instead of stopping the press, because I'm not worried about overflowing things because we're going to be controlling this a little bit. So again, we're going to move this guy over. I don't need that. We're going to grab this, and hopefully this is not going to affect that. We'll just put a nice little stone brick down there with a redstone torch, and that means I'm going to have to connect her off of that one. So actually, can I do this to there and give me that back, and we'll put the piece of wood back too. All right, I want to put the timer into that block right there and set it for Let me see. We need to knock that much off of it. Now, that's going to just be able to run whenever. So the next thing we have here is we need another connector here, and we're going to do that. And all I need to do here is set it to output and then change it to magenta. And hopefully, if I do this and that, now we have nothing going on in here. So we need to go grab some spare wire. If I put all of that in there, it's off. That means it can't run. It's got everything shut off. If I take one out, clear out the inventory a little bit here, grab another stack, grab another stack, grab another stack. I may need to make that longer. I want to try to keep a good amount in this. Wow, that's actually taking more than I thought it was going to take. Come on. There we go. Now we're running again. So I might need to adjust that just a little bit because I kind of want that number to be, I don't know, about 1500. So we need to go downstairs with some redstone and some stone bricks, which I don't have any on me. Let's grab a couple of those real quick. And I have the wire. Good deal. Go downstairs. So that means I need to make this longer. Now, I know that's kind of one of those, I can do this, and I probably will do this now that I have plenty of nether quartz to do this. But that also requires me to go dig another one of those out and another comparator and do a bunch of other things. So I'm just going to cheese it. We're just going to cheese it right now. We're going to do another couple more, maybe. Redstone, redstone, redstone. And another connector. You can actually hear him ticking up there. That's cool. Shift click. There we go. And grab some more redstone wire. Hopefully it still connects. You need to go to there. And then we'll see how much that holds. Trial and error sometimes is just easier than sitting down with a calculator. So we've got 912 in there now. If I grab another 2 stacks, still on, still on, still on, still on. Okay, and we're off. I may need to add one more, but basically what's going to happen is we're going to continue to fiddle around with that to make it work. Same thing's going to happen over here. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up. It's going to need its own circuit because there isn't one down there right now. So we'll have to get that sorted. I also have to get the item ducts moving from that bin to over here to all of these bins. And I have to bring item ducts up from the copper over to here, from here over to there, which we already have a lot of item ducts down here running as it is. So I'll rip all this out, put the floor back in, take these, dump them into the system, and hopefully that should actually make stuff work pretty well. So, all right, well, that was fun, and I hope that was a little bit more informative of the way we do, or the way I'm doing these. This does work, and as long as you don't have trillions of plate presses running around, then you don't have too much of a problem. Believe me, these are like 130, 140, sometimes 200 microseconds of whatever of time in here. So when you get done talking about how much TPS you're eating up, I mean, I think, let's see, COFH TPS, I'm currently setting at 42. And once I knock all those out, I will probably go back down into the low 30s again, which is nice. And I really, really, really hope that that helps out a lot because it's really stuttery and really nasty. But anyhow, we'll see how this episode turns out. I may or may not do this. I don't know. But I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.